Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Vaughn, on In Session, and I have my other host,
Miles, how y'all doing?
and today we have a very special guest, very good friend of mine on the show, and her name is Janai Joseph. So, Janai, tell us about yourself and how are you feeling today?
Yes, I'm feeling great. Actually, thanks for asking. Thank you, first of all, for having me here. I am the recruiter for Baton Rouge Community College, and I am from a very small town in Assumption Parish called Labadeville. But I graduated from Terrebonne High School, so that's in Houma, Louisiana. What inspired me to become a recruiter? Honestly, I just enjoy giving back. I did start out as an advisor here at BRCC, and the goal has always been to authentically give back to students 100% what I would have endured during my college years.
Right. So you say you started as an advisor. A lot of students, their first introduction to college is usually meeting with someone like you.
Mhm.
What is the most what's your most common experiences whenever you're doing that?
Well, my most common experience is I don't know what I want to do. Please help. Send help right now. And can you point me in the right direction? So when students first meet with me, I'm all about making sure that they are in the right place. If they are not in the right place, I'm there to guide them to the right place. I'm usually answering questions about the college day in and day out. It may be about a specific program or course. It may just be about the general schedule of tuition. It may be about, one of the programs like Nibritty that we have. So just about everything.
My next question is, was education something you were passionate about? If so, speak about it and how did it shape it? How did it shape you now? Or is there something you did prior before you got into the educational role prior to BRCC?
Funny thing is, I did not see myself in higher education at all. Definitely not K through 12. I'm just being honest. I love people, however, and I just knew that I have a passion. Always since I was a little girl, I've been outgoing. I was voted most outgoing in high school, of course, and I just always wanted to help people. I just didn't know in what capacity exactly I was going to be able to do that, and I'm just glad that my background in social work and just a love for people have landed me here at BRCC.
I agree to that, especially for teachers who teach K through 12.
Mhm.
That takes a whole different skill.
Yeah, gotta have respect for them. It's not easy.
Definition of a work underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're in education, you have to love what you do. You have to love people. You have to actually care. You can't show up for a paycheck. Paycheck won't cut it. You really have to love what you do. So I'm here because it's peaceful and I love what I do. I can wake up out my bed and look forward to coming here every day. Everybody can't say that about what they do. So that's it.
That's true, and we find that often, especially when we have people who come into the center that maybe they had a few professors that got passed along when they were in high school and stuff, and so now we're trying to get them to catch up, and we keep walking them through our tutoring courses, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and we're pointing them to all the services we have available. I mean, and so I think what you say is very helpful.
Yeah.
Your everyday roles as enrollment services, what does that entail?
So my everyday, on the job description part where it says your everyday roles, I'm answering the phones. I may be giving a tour, as y'all know. Y'all see me
Yes.
walking around giving a tour.
Real right there.
Can't
We need to
be.
give her a round of applause right now because she gets some steps in. She is always on the go. Anytime I'm in the student
Yeah.
center, she is already touring another group of parents, another group of
We're in
freshmen.
the fall semester, and I guarantee I'm gonna see
Yes,
at least
you're gonna see me
twice a day.
until we close out the fiscal year. You will see me here, sure. But yeah, my daily thing is and if y'all know if I'm not here, I'm at a college fair.
Right.
Or like I just told y'all before we started the show, I just came fresh off of a lunch visit at a local high school. Like I said, I enjoy talking about BRCC, whether they want to come to BRCC or they just need guidance and understanding how to ask the questions in an appropriate way.
Mhm.
So that way when they are speaking with representatives from the different community colleges and universities, especially approaching BRSCC, they understand that it doesn't have to be a scary process. It can be a very smooth transition from high school to the college world. And so that's what I'm here to provide always.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I was growing up and when I went to high school, a common thing was like, if you told someone like your plan was to go to community college, they'd be like, why community college?
Yeah.
Has that changed when you go see to other high schools now? People are more accepting of the community.
I want to let y'all know something right now. BRCC is in high demand. I can't make this up. Here's the thing. More students in high school and adults. You actually have 4-year students as well. That transfer from big schools. I'm talking out of state as well. They are running 2-year community colleges simply because they understand, number one, 4-year college may be intimidating. Number two, I don't have to go to school for 4 years, nor do I want to be in school for 4 years. And plus, what I want to do is at a 2-year college, and I can save time, I can save money, and we have the resources, y'all. We are so resourceful to the community. We have a lot of employers and contractors coming to visit us left and right. They're emailing us left and right, looking to hire our students right after they're done graduating, sometimes before they're done with their degrees. So it's super important to understand that, yes, that has changed, Miles. More people, more counselors are encouraging BRCC. I'm also in the field meeting a lot of relatives like sisters, moms, dads, bosses. I met someone last night at a open house at a middle school, primary school, I think. And both of her daughters are going to school for our teaching AS 1 through 5.
Okay.
And so I told them to make sure they email me and stop by if they have any questions. I want to make sure that they understand that they have a familiar face here at the college. So, yeah.
Because like I said, back when I was in high school, you told someone your plan was to go to community college and then transfer to 4-year university. They look at you sideways like, why not just go to the 4-year?
And let me just say this too. Now, more of your community colleges are expanding.
Right.
So the name Votech, have you ever heard of that? Votech, it was just defined trade. So they've removed those words, those terms. They changed a lot of terminology over the years. So when I was in school, it was Votech. Oh, Votech. I had friends that was in Votech. They were going to do vocational school, correct? They were just going to do cosmetology. Maybe some of them were going to go into carpentry, welding. Those were the terms that they used. But now, as a community college, we are no longer just trade school, So we have reshaped and we have redefined what a community college is. And BRCC is at the top.
It is definitely at the forefront because 10, 15 years ago, half of what you see at BRCC wasn't here.
That's correct. BRCC started off as one building.
One building. Governor's right behind us.
Yeah.
That was the building that the school started, and they expanded to Cypress and Louisiana and this building as well.
And we have 8 sites.
I would highly consider, especially in having toured both other 4-year colleges, you go look at those colleges and compare it to BRCC's campus. BRCC either matches or starts to exceed some of that technological advance.
I would say for anyone who's getting ready to go to college, start at a community college, get your core prerequisites out the way.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be spending half the time and half the money getting everything that you need from your college algebra, from your statistics, from your trig, from your biology. And then by the time you decide you want to go to a 2-year or continue your education at a 4-year, you already have 1 degree in your back pocket and you're several steps ahead. Personally, speaking from experience, I'm now a junior at LSU with my associate's degree, getting my bachelor's at the end of next year because I took the time to come to a 2-year instead of rushing right to a 4-year when I came back. I'm like, let me go small. Let me participate in something small, acclimate myself into a consistent college schedule. What BRCC is phenomenal at doing, acclimating you if you're not new to college or you're returning back to college. We see a lot of returning students. I like to call them recycled teenagers so people won't get offended.
That's interesting.
We have a lot of recycled teenagers here on campus who are coming back for the first time in 30, 40 years. And just the steps of them saying, I haven't been to school in 40 years. That's my mom's age, your mom's age, a little bit older than your mom. Or right there, they said, this is the first time I felt hands-on in college with a community college.
And that's what separates us from everybody else. they get that one-on-one experience. You know, our ratio in the classroom is like 29-1.
That's true. And
right?
yeah, and especially with the number one reason you ask some people like why you go to college that I don't know, going straight to the workforce, they say, oh, I can build connections in college.
That's it.
If you do that, you can build connections here. Class sizes are smaller. You're gonna be more. Your professors are more likely to help you out.
That's right.
And they personal time with you because at more 4-year universities, LSU, Southeast, all that, they teach them like 1,000 kids a semester.
I got a class, my marketing class. There's 610 kids in that class.
Yeah, that's one.
That's just one out of my 5 classes that I'm in. 610. So you gotta count the size of a class from here. You're building that connection with that professor, and then some of the professors are even willing to help you after hours in their own personal time, not even being on campus.
And you just not.
I know a Professor Jima. She helps her students at either at the library on Bluebonnet or at the library on Goodwood Springs with their English papers. I know some math professors here, Professor Potter, Professor Sandin, they all are about helping their students, breaking down the material, retaining the material, and having the context to apply the material to their day-to-day lives. And you don't see that at many two-year institutions. You don't see that.
Find it at the 4 institutions.
You won't find it, and if it is, it's a small amount of professors in the system.
Yep, can't make that up.
It's true. Now, one thing, because you used to be before you were a recruiter.
Yeah.
What is the difference between recruitment now and what you used to do?
Okay, so my role as a college navigator is what was formerly in the position I was formerly in.
Right.
A college navigator essentially will start you with registration. So you're going to register for classes. But they also can help you apply to the college as well, just as I do. They will be more so in one place. They may attend volunteer events here and there. So like if there is like a workshop here, or like if there's like an after hour event here, like we're going to have a trunk or treat coming up soon, we can participate in those things. So getting involved is very important. So just the small amount, a majority of what they do is we're helping students register for classes. I still also, as the recruiter, help students register for classes during peak enrollment seasons. So that role, I still participate in from time to time. That's like my list. It's like my miscellaneous role. I can still advise in my sleep. I know a lot of the requirements for a lot of the programs, not because I decided to memorize them, but because I have done a good job at familiarizing myself with them. I've made sure I reach out to the deans, the different departments, to understand and have a better understanding of what it takes to get into some of these selective admissions programs. And I also want to advocate for students and make sure that they understand that they're getting the most updated and corrected information possible.
Right.
As the recruiter, the only difference is I'm not in my office all the time. I'm on the forefront, out of the office, talking to people about the college on a daily basis, explaining, what happens at each institution depending on which site they want to go to. So for instance, if they're telling me they want to be a welder, I'm going to talk about the Acadian campus. We're going to take a tour of the Acadian campus. I'm going to tailor, each tour is different. I'm going to tailor it to that person and what they're looking for. And that's what I love about my background in social work. It has allowed me the opportunity to transition my skills from social work to what I currently do today, which is helping people and tailoring it. Like in case management, everything is case by case. No case is the same. No student is the same. And so my goal, whenever I'm out there in the recruitment world, and no matter what college high school I go to, no matter what college fair I attend, I look at every student differently.
That's true. Like I said before, I see at least twice a day when peak tours come around, and it's all different people, baseball players.
Yep.
Different students, different walks of life, and they all get the same treatment.
Yep, they get the same treatment, but I make sure that everything I do is genuine and it's authentic. Nothing about me is scripted. So I'm going to make sure that by the time they leave BRCC, from the time they walk on the campus, before they leave, that they felt like, hey, even if I don't come, or if I decide to come, I know that they care, they listened, they heard me, I'm seen.
Correct.
My next question is, what is the most rewarding moment working with students? And on the flip side, what is the hardest part helping students stay with their courses when life gets tough?
All right. So I will say the most rewarding thing for me personally is actually I've helped several students in the recruitment world. Sometimes they just don't know what to expect when they come to college. They're really scared. So it's actually seeing them apply, actually come and visit with me, actually use their fall breaks, their spring breaks to come and take a tour, actually watching them get accepted into some of these very rigorous programs like nursing and sonography, to be exact, transferring to LSU. I've successfully helped transfer to LSU for engineering specifically, which is
Tough.
also very rigorous.
That
So
process is tough.
that process is tough. And so the toughest, so that's the most rewarding part, because it takes an extreme amount of discipline to actually stick it through, especially if you're working, especially if maybe you have to do everything 100% online because you have a family to take care of. Everybody has life outside of college, and I understand that, but some will not make an excuse. They will just simply get it done.
Mhm.
So on the flip side of that, like you said, sometimes the hardest part, especially when life starts happening, is when you maybe have a student that's trying to get me to work a miracle. Perhaps they lost their courses because, I don't know, they didn't attend class. So now financial aid plays a part in some of this. They have to meet certain requirements, and I won't get into that too much because that's not my department, but they have to meet certain requirements in the financial aid department in order to keep their grant or their award.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes students slip through the crack. They may have to sit out a semester and they're emailing me to try to do something about it, but ultimately it's up to the department. And sometimes a lot of students don't understand that if you remain proactive, and that's sometimes bad things happen to good people. All right. We control what we can. So I always, in those challenging moments, try to get students to understand you can't control what other people do, but you can control you. All right. So it's not about how you look at it. It's all about your attitude. Let's be proactive about the situation. Let's focus on what we can control. Okay, we're not doing well in this class. Well, look, tough, but look, let's do what we can. Have you exhausted all your resources? Did you come visit the DLASC? Hello. Did you do everything? Did you, like you said, did y'all visit y'all professor when they extended themselves outside of their work hours? Did you do everything? We have a lot of online resources. So no, the flexibility, the help is there. The resources are there. Are you familiar with the resources? Have you actually reached out? Instead of just emailing or calling the 1-800 number, have you actually came in person? Because during peak seasons, we're busy. I'm not sitting by my desk, y'all. So it happens to where sometimes you're dealing with people or they have parents coming in on behalf of students, and that's okay. But ultimately, especially if the student has not, signed FERPA, which is an agreement for someone to step in on their behalf and do things for them, we cannot do anything in those situations. So students just have to understand, if they're listening, be a little bit more proactive. We are here to help you 100%. Our office hours are open. And, for example, we have those super Saturdays. Y'all are not here, but we're here on those Saturdays specifically so that way you have an extra opportunity to get it done. That's financial aid included. We're extending ourselves to make sure that you have the help that you need. That's what's most important.
And that's true, because literally, if like at the beginning, middle, end of the semester, I get the same couple issues that come through, and the first thing I ask people is, did you email your professor?
Yeah.
And they give me the same look. Is like, they're not going. You don't know. You email them. If you keep that constant contact with them, then they're going to respond to you because they see you trying to class.
Absolutely.
And your professors, it's not like in high school. Your professors are only going to put in as much effort into the class as you go put into the class.
Right.
But with that you being said, I want to ask you, like, because we know students struggle because life be life.
Yeah, life be life.
And at BRCC, we do often give students who have jobs, sometimes multiple jobs, sometimes kids and family to take care of. And so when life does get in the way, what advice do you have for them? That's steps it takes to kind of balance school, work, and life in general.
Healthy. I want to add healthy work-life balance.
Healthy work-life balance, absolutely.
What is something that you apply to yourself that you can give to students today? Because you are a former college student,
Yes.
and you are now helping high schoolers and college students as well. What is that healthy work-life balance that you've adopted and that you've put into practice?
Get some sleep. Stop waiting until 11:59 to turn in your work. Take it from a vet. I'm an 11:59 vet. That -20 will hurt your grade. It will take you from a B to a D in a heartbeat. I promise. Those grades are weighted differently. So get you some rest. All right. Get ahead of everything. Also, if you're struggling or if you're thinking about quitting, if you have to take a break because life happens, we have policies in place. Where there's something that happened, like an extenuating circumstance happened, to where you have to stop because maybe a family member has a life-threatening illness that caused them to maybe stop working, and now you have to step in and work to take care of them. Well, guess what? Through all of that, we have counseling and accessibility services. So those are things that I would lean on when I was in college. So I would go and talk to my professors, like y'all are saying. They knew me. They knew Janai was coming. I was coming in person, y'all. I wasn't, emailing them. I would email them from time to time, especially once I became like an online student for my master's program. But there were times where I still needed to come in person,
Right.
because I just needed to talk to somebody. I needed somebody to actually hear what I was saying, and I wanted to make sure that I was understanding the information. I want to make sure I was taking all of the right steps. So sometimes students are looking for reassurance, and we are here to reassure. So sometimes when I get students that just pop in from high school, like I have this one student, he pops in from time to time, and it's the reassurance that he needs just to make sure that he's doing the right thing. But guess what? I don't sugarcoat anything. I encourage him like, hey, you need to stay ahead of the game. The same thing I would tell any student walking through these doors at BRCC. Stay ahead of the game. If you don't procrastinate, you won't have to have a ton of stress in the world. Again, things we can control, we can control. Things we cannot control, we can't. So the things that we can control, take a charge of those things and focus on that. Now, also with that being said, if you do find yourself in a situation where you're working more and you have to work and you can absolutely not work, right? Because we have bills to pay, right? So if you know you have to work, cut down on your hours. I used to be an assistant coach for when we had the Honey Bears here. I literally had a talk jumping in to about maybe 4 or 5 of those cheerleaders. And I said, hey, look, listen, I understand that you want to be a part, and there's nothing wrong with being involved in school. However, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on school, if that's your priority. If you have to cut down your hours to, instead of maybe 15 hours, maybe cut it down to maybe 2 or 3 if you can help it. So that way you can balance out your work and school balance. If you're fortunate enough to still stay at home with family members, or if you know someone that you can live with, stay at home. Don't put the pressure on yourself of moving out so soon. Stay at home. Throughout my college years, I stayed home. I didn't have to worry about if I was going to eat or if I was going to do this or I was going to do that. Staying at home afforded me the opportunity to just get some rest, eat, sleep, repeat. Because I was a commuter student after a while. Once I transferred from Southern University to Nicholls State University, I was a commuter student. So I was staying at home. And that's what a lot of students don't understand. If you don't take care of yourself, there's no way you can try to full throttle this all you want to, but you won't be performing at your best. And you don't want to do anything.
I believe, I 100% agree with that. And plus, I think something else important is like, even if you are, I'm a former procrastination person myself. I used to do 11:59. I'm there. It's submitted. I give me about 30 minutes to do my assignments. I'll take care of it. But at some point, something's got to give.
That's right.
Either you going to give, performance going to give, something's going to happen.
Or the computer's going to shut down.
Right.
What I learned is taking the W. I would rather take the W than the N.
Yes.
I would rather just take the W and repeat the class. I know for myself, when my grandfather passed away, thank you. In the beginning of last year, I was taking basic statistics, and I told myself, I cannot give this class 110% because I'm not mentally there. I was mentally there for my other classes because I knew I could have passed those, but statistics was a class that I knew I just needed some time to myself. I needed to process that, and I took the W. And there was another class I took the W on as well. Take the W. It's not going to hurt. You can even take the class again in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to pass that class, I say take it for the summer. But taking the W instead of the F will do better for your GPA, because I've taken the F, and it's not a pretty sight. And it's very hard to bounce back from an F to a B. It's really, really hard with those. If you don't take the W, you're going to bite the bullet.
And let me just say this. Your academic calendar is your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So no, you don't want to use it to just add and drop courses. No, that lets you know ahead of time when you're going to have a midterm. When are you going to have a final? When they're going to post it? When's the last day they have to post it? When you have to, determine, like Vaughn just said, to make a decision on whether you need to keep a class or drop a class, because I can definitely relate to feeling like I have to see this class through because I started it and I got to finish it. That's the wrong mentality to have. If you are sincerely struggling in a class and you have exhausted all resources, the key word is exhaust your resources first, which is why I don't want you to become a professional student, is what we call it. Just adding and dropping courses. You're going to keep wasting your time if you do that, respectfully. But if you take the time to exhaust all of your resources, and then like Vaughn just said, if you know that you are not there present, if you're not present with a class, if it's not sticking after you exhausted your resources, yes, if you can drop it. Take your W. Your W is, of course, W stands for withdraw. For those that aren't familiar with the terminology, W stands for withdraw. I call it a win because it's saving you from your GPA.
Right.
But a W is definitely not a real grade. So of course, you have to repeat the course, but it does not affect your GPA, versus a D, which is an unsatisfactory grade, or an F, which totally unsatisfactory, means you have failed the course. And I cannot tell you the amount of times I just, felt like, because no, I didn't talk to anyone. So, okay, let's take some accountability. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't also have someone to say, hey, you don't have to stay in this course. You can maybe try, after exhausting your resources, talking to an advisor to sit down with someone, go over your plan, and go back to the drawing board, and let's try again during the summer term. So I think it's very important that students understand the muscle of enrollment services is college navigating. It is making sure you check in with somebody, say, hey, before I do this, this is what I'm thinking about doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Speak to your academic advisor. Get to know. Sure. There's several people you need to know on any college campus. Your academic advisor, your financial literacy advisor, and your professors are the main three you need to understand. If you don't know anything when it comes to your classes, get in contact with your academic advisor, because they have the plan, they have the blueprint, and they can check your transcript at any given time, showing you this is what you need to do. Now, there are some schools like LSU that is just a beast and they can't get to everyone. But if you do just the small things that can assist you, well, have you reached out to your general advisor before you got into your main core college? Have you reached out to your financial aid advisor? And 9 times out of 10, if they haven't said that, you're still at square one. But if you do step 1 and step 2, 9 times out of 10, they can get to your academic advisor and they can assist you with getting to someone else in that same department if it's not your academic advisor.
Right. And let's not, not saying that y'all doing it, but as far as like a 4-year, because I'm a 4-year girly, I graduated from 2 big 4-year schools, right? Respectfully to the 4-year schools, we love y'all. But we just understand that it's super intimidating. And if you do desire to transfer to a 4-year school, just understand that the legwork has to be done. Just as if you would do it at BRCC. It's a smaller campus, but understand when you transfer to a 4-year school, it's not that you can't find anybody. I'm just here to back up Vaughn a little bit. You just have to put the work in that's necessary for you to get in touch with the respective person in your department. That's what Vaughn is saying. You have to make sure you're connecting and you're networking. So emailing and phone calls will get you a little far. But sometimes when you're interacting and you're having a human engagement face to face with your instructor or your professor, it will take you a little bit further. Right. You show up and you say, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Well, now you put it in their hands. And now, again, like Vaughn is saying, college navigators here, they can literally navigate, is in the name. They can navigate you to where you need to go to next or who you need to talk to next.
Yeah, and I honestly think that the important thing is making sure you have consistent conversation with
Consistency is important.
and that's kind of the point of this show, is to make sure, like, it is intimidating to talk to people sometimes, and so we kind of try and bridge that gap where now y'all see, maybe if you haven't met Janai, you probably seen her on camera before, but maybe you haven't talked to her. This is what she like. She's cool. She's funny.
I am.
And so, there's other people like her that work with her, and I don't know if they're as funny, but
I'm a bubbly person.
it's still cool.
I have a lot of energy at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little bit more lively than most people walking around here sometimes. But if you do need me, I am here. I cannot answer any questions about financial aid, but I can get you to where you need to be. But please, if you do decide to email BRCC recruitment at mybrcc.edu, please understand that I'm only one person, and I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. But I'm going to give you the truth. Okay.
With that being said, I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say, so you obviously advise more than one student.
That's right.
How often would you recommend, if I'm a student, I check in with you?
Quarterly.
Make sure you get to be quarterly to make sure
I would say quarterly if everything's fine. Quarterly, like every semester, every spring. If you're coming during the summer, fall, because we're open year round. I mean, we extend ourselves. So the opportunity is always there. You just have to show it for the opportunity. It's called taking the initiative. So if you're a student, I would say quarterly if nothing's wrong, quarterly. Even if you're even if you know how to register your classes. I tell students all the time, register your classes first if you just want to sit down with me or a college navigator. And go over what's called your DegreeWorks dashboard. Is literally like a check-off list to let you know what you're taking. If it's bubbled in blue, it's in progress. If it's green, that means you completed it. If it's red, that means you have a little bit more to go. So we can literally sit down with you as your general advisors and help you before it's time for you to graduate. So that way, when it's time for you to graduate, you're not sitting there panicking and wondering why I have 5 classes left. We can make sure that you're taking what you need and only what you need.
Right.
From your perspective, what's one common challenge do students face often? And what do those struggling students tell you about, what they're facing? And my college experience has not been as what you see everyone posts. Like, from your perspective, what do you think they say to you often about their college experience and they're struggling in certain areas without getting into full details?
Yeah. I would say a lot of them struggle, or they tell me, I didn't know that this was a part of my class requirements. So i.e. a syllabus, something as simple as what is a syllabus or reading my syllabus. I didn't know that I had to make this purchase for maybe like to unlock like an online program. So just those simple things they may struggle with, some of the tech savvy things, is what I mainly face. Whenever they're already enrolled and on the other side, they may run into a lot of technical issues is what I'm running into. And what I usually let them know is like, make sure you reach out to the IT department. If you've never taken an online class, please come and visit the Digital Learning Center. So that way you can have someone walk you through Canvas. I've seen what Canvas looks like because I can see it from an administrative standpoint, but using Canvas, I've never used Canvas before, but I do understand the functions of it is similar to Moodle. So I had Moodle when I was in college, and the concept of Moodle is similar to Canvas. You have to turn in your work on time by the due date, not when you want to. I've also encouraged students to, if your work is unlocked early by your professor or your instructor, do it in advance. I mean, yeah, you might want to go sit down and binge watch your favorite show on Netflix or Hulu, but I highly recommend just doing it. That way you save yourself some time. Also, a fun fact is, and I've had it happen to me personally while I was in college. When you do your work early, your professors or your instructors will email you your work back and they'll allow you to go back and fix it. Just by you doing it in advance, they will give you the opportunity if they're feeling good, right? Because they don't have to do that, mind you.
On a
But they'll do it.
point, to all the people who like myself, who like to do stuff lunch GR, your professors know you're doing it at 11:50.
They can see it.
And so when you try and email them because it's something like, They know that you just submitted every other assignment at 11:59.
Look, and they can also see that you have added a course at the last minute as well. They know those things. So y'all, it's super important to just stay ahead. You know, we again also with you advocating for yourself, self-advocacy is you just simply coming up here on behalf of yourself, not rude, not with an attitude, but just simply saying, hey, look, I've tried these options. I tried to register for these classes. I'm struggling. Can you help me? And we will help you. You just can't wait until the last minute. I can't stress that part enough. We can do something about it early on. Like sometimes, you know, if let's say all of the college navigators or people in enrollment services are trying to get one class. I remember it happening just like it was yesterday. Physics 1, General Physics 1 was in high demand a year ago. And during the summer, they opened up so many physics courses simply because I was getting emails. The college navigators were giving emails about students wanting to take physics, but not enough availability. So what happens is we advocate on you guys' behalf to say, hey, look, about 20 students that want to take general physics number 1. What can we do about it? Then it goes through the chain of commands, and then there's help from there. And then what usually will come up that is you'll have another section opened up because you decided to step up to the plate and say, hey, I need some help. It's just that easy. Yeah.
You brought up earlier that you have a master's. What is your master's?
Yes, I do. My master's is in social work from LSU. Go Tigers.
And are you currently pursuing anything, any like new degrees, certifications, that?
At the moment, I am not pursuing my doctoral degree, which is a terminal degree. However, I am in pursuit of some professional development careers, like some certificates to add on to what I currently do, because I really have fallen in love with higher education. Higher education has allowed me, especially as a recruiter, to be my natural self. So I love talking, and the fact that I get to do something that, again, that I love, that I'm really passionate about doing, it's like it's no clockwork. It's just you wake up and you get to go do what you love doing, Janai. So let's go talk to somebody. Let's see if we can change somebody's mind about what college really is, or if we can maybe open up somebody's mind to saying, like, you know what, I don't think college is for me, or I don't think college is for me. Let's just make sure we understand at the end of the day that that person that may walk through the door or may email or call me, that college, we have something for everybody here at BRCC. That's the goal at the end of the day for me.
That's true. And like they say, you know, you do something you love, you know, work day and like.
That's the fact. But yeah.
I want to ask, what's one thing you've learned that you can share with college students that motivates you, that can continue helping them with their education? Like, what's one thing that motivates you in education that can push someone to continue their education? Because I'm going to be continuing my education. Everyone say, this boy talks too much. Be a lawyer. I don't want to. He's like, all the time. All the time. It's a little tadpole. It's like, you talk too much. Go be a lawyer. Be an attorney or something.
Oh, so you got to talk to. I say you talk.
But what's one thing that has consistently motivated you while you were in college, and then pushes you, that you can share with the knowledge of, you know, current college students who feel like, I can do this, but I just need a little bit motivation?
Come stop by and talk to me. Come stop by and check in with your peers. Hang around like-minded people. You have to be around people that want to grow, that want to go somewhere in their lives. If you hang around someone that always has a dark cloud over their head, you're going to eventually have a dark cloud over your head.
Yeah.
That's the God honest truth. You're going to eventually have a dark cloud over your head. You're going to start to believe that you can't do it either. So you have to, if you want to grow, if I want to grow in higher education, I'm putting myself to sit at the tables. I'm getting involved. I'm getting out of my comfort zone because I want to grow. I want to do more. There's a lot that I still don't know about higher education because I still consider myself a newbie here. I have a long way to go, but I am so inspired by people that have been here in the game for 20 years, 30 plus years, doing this for a long time. And I'm just like, wow, like all we see sometimes is a title, but it's a lot of work ethic that goes into those titles that people have earned. It's a lot of experience. It's a lot of volunteering. Sometimes you have to volunteer. Okay. It's networking, it's talking to people, it's who you know sometimes. It's not what you know. It's not that my master's isn't important to me. It definitely is. I work hard for it. My bachelor's was too. But coming here, a lot of people, especially students, they ask me, well, Miss Janai, did you go to BRCC? And I said, no, I didn't. I went to 4 years. I give them my background. But I said, when I was in my college years, right? I just got to Nicholls State and I couldn't pass that college algebra. Guess what happened? I had to go to a 2-year. So it was then that I learned the importance of talking to somebody. When I became a transfer student at Nicholls State University, it was mandatory actually to meet with an advisor. So that was actually my first experience sitting down, talking to somebody. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody else, I literally sat down in that lady's office and I cried. Because I felt like it was the end of the world. I felt like I messed up. I felt like I went from a junior status to sophomore status, and I just was boohoo crying. I can't make this up. Her name was Dr. Kimberly Reynolds, and I thank her to this day. I give her flowers every chance I get. And her words to me was, just take a deep breath. So anybody that's listening, take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. It might be a little cloudy right now. Your vision might not be the clearest. Close your laptop. Take a break. Go get yourself something to eat. I like wings. Go take a break. Go get you that coffee that you like, you know.
It's true. If you get in my math lab and try the problem 7 times, go take a break, take a drink of water, get some coffee.
Come to the center.
Get it, you come here.
I advise all students, when you watch this, please come to the Digital Learning Academic Support Center.
Indeed.
Just do not pass it because we have some of the greatest math minds on here. Ryan is a math wizard.
Indeed.
That man brain works at a higher
He's tutoring right now.
You're right. He probably is. But the way he can break down formulas for someone who has never even sat in a college algebra class since 9th grade, he'll show you how to pass
And listen,
college class.
I have to interject. That word breakdown, that's what a 2-year college did for me. Fletcher Community College, that's in Homer, Louisiana. That is one of our sister colleges under the Louisiana Community Technical College System, LCTCS for short. That math teacher broke everything down to where I was able to make a B in math, college algebra. And they had the co-requisite. Get that? They had the co-requisite version. I was used to taking remedials, y'all. But I was then introduced to a connecting course is what I call it. The co-requisite is like the tutoring and it's like the actual course. So you get it broken down to you twice, right? And then on top of that, if you're getting tutoring, you're getting it broken down to you a 3rd time. Community college breaks it all the way down so that way you can thrive. Never in my wildest dreams, and I cannot make this up, I did not have the ACT scores to go straight to Nicholls State University, Southern University of Baton Rouge, A&M College, or LSU. I did not have the ACT scores. I'm so serious. I had to take a placement to get into Southern. But I'm saying all that to say, if you have to take a non-traditional route, right? You come to BRCC and you transfer to your college, your dream college, you can still get it done. That's what I want you to do if you're listening to this. I want you to still go and get it. All right? Your journey will not look like your friend's journey, your parents' journey. Let's get into it. It will not look like your parents' journey. And I understand that sometimes our parents, they put us on a very high pedestal. They're proud of us. They want us to do this. They want us to do that. But also do what you want to do too. You're coming to college. They're not sitting in here while you're taking these midterms, finals, all the things. Do it because you want to do it. And they will still be proud of you at the end of the day. All right? Because you're going to be a part of the percentage that didn't quit. Because people quit every day. So that's what I want you to do. I still want you to go ahead and still chase after your wildest dreams, because literally you're talking to someone that did not have it in the beginning, but I knew how to study. Not the best test taker. I knew how to buckle down. I knew how to lock in. I knew how to get serious. And I love here at BRCC how we have these noise reduction pods that allow you to just lock in and just zone in. We have the library here. There's a lot of quiet space for you to just study and get what you need.
True. And I want to point out 2 things. Say one, just make sure I realize when you get your degree, it don't say degree, transfer degree.
That's what
Say degree.
You say degree.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. So how
You should be proud of it.
There you go. And the second thing is, we talk about visiting the center. Please come through, and don't come through 45 minutes before your class. Don't come through
That's right.
a day before your test. Come through a week before your test. Maybe even 2 weeks before your test.
Mhm.
That way we can see your lesson plans, because we a lot of our math crews have taught this over and over again, so they know the lesson plan that you're going off of, and they can help you out because they've done it before. Either
And
taking the
even
class or tutoring it over here.
even if you need one-to-one help, we have a system here, thanks to Dr. Anyway, you can reserve a tutor.
Yep.
You can reserve a tutor. Say if you need Ryan or Brock or Joseph or Mikey or Carlos for an hour to 45 minutes, they will be in that room with you every step of the way. And if you're trying to understand linear equations, they're going to show you how to understand linear equations. And another thing I want to say before we wrap this little segment up, you got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
College is not for the weak. You can have all the motivation in the world, but without discipline, without having that, you know what, I'm going to be part of that 1% that goes. And college isn't meant for everybody. I tell my friends this all the time. You don't always have to go to college, but as long as you're disciplined about something that you truly love and care and passionate about, that's how you know you make it.
That's right.
You can have all the motivation. You can have motivational scripts everywhere, but without discipline, you cannot do it. The Bible says faith without works is nothing. If you cannot have discipline, ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to succeed. Don't take it very hard that I'm coming off this way, but without discipline, you can't do anything.
I agree with it, because
Getting up every morning I'm not a morning person. I would rather sleep in my bed all day, but I got the bills to pay. And I told myself, and I made a promise to my grandfather before he passed away, I'm going to continue where you left off. I'm going to take what you taught me, and I'm going to go even further. And for me, I'm not doing this for me. I'm making an example for the people who are watching me, for my siblings who are watching me, my younger relatives. Everyone may not say they're watching you, but I promise you this, they're watching. And without discipline, you can't do it.
That's true. And like we talked about earlier, most people from BRTC got kids, family, looking after somebody. And like you said, we see people quit all the time when we come here. We also see people succeed too. And
That's it.
And the difference we always see with them is one more day,
One more day.
one more assignment. And you also talked about some people they come here because their parents wanted to come here, or your parents said you got to go to college. I feel that I was that way. You come here because you said, because the life plan is you're going to go to high school, then you're going to go to college.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go to college, so you go to community college.
Mm.
And maybe just, life it out for a little bit in community college. Don't take it easy. If you're here, take advantage of it. Figure out why you're here. You're a community college. We do that for a living, where we just come here and we help people figure out, okay, what you want to do. Are you doing this, or is someone else doing this? And if it's someone else doing it, let's find something you like to do.
Yep.
And we can point you in the right direction.
Right.
As we get ready to close this wonderful, wonderful segment, we have 2 questions left for you, Janai.
Yeah.
Reflection, resilience, and the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
What has this role taught you about patience, empathy, and leadership, not just as a professional, but as a person?
Man. This role specifically comes to patience. I have to understand, and I still have to understand that, especially working with young people younger than me, right? That they're not going to understand everything that I understand. So I just have to keep an open mind. I have to be willing to understand that, I may want to push like, hey, go apply today. But, at the end of the day, if they don't want to apply, it's okay. If they want to wait until the last minute, it's still okay. I did what I was supposed to do. I have to be patient and understand that although sometimes I might not, I might just look at it like, oh, it's just a tour, or I'm just walking around. I've done a good job. I will pat myself on the back at getting out of the mentality of just feeling like it's like just a day-to-day occurrence. I look at it and I take it in stride and I do the best I can. Sometimes I do it tired. Sometimes, if it's, a family member of an executive member, I'm a little nervous. Sometimes if it's like just, if I'm presenting for a big cooperation or a partnership or something, I'll be nervous sometimes. So I'm patient with myself. I'm learning to slow down, take my time, and not rush through everything because I don't like to rush through nothing. I'm naturally a fast paced person, but I'm learning to just take my time as well, enjoy my slow mornings. I don't have to just get into my emails right away, eat my breakfast before I start helping everybody because I will literally help you before I help myself. But guess what? You can't thrive if you don't take care of yourself. So
Don't mask first.
empathy. I try to empathize with everybody. I mean, even when, things don't work out the way people want it to work out for them when they're enrolled in the college or, if they have an extenuating circumstance, I just try to be very understanding. Transparency has gotten me far as well. Being honest, it's okay to say, I don't know. But after my I don't know, my next answer for them is, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to try to find a solution for you. I'm going to connect you with the right person because I don't know the answer. So telling the truth has gotten me far. And leadership, I didn't realize a lot of people look up to me. I didn't realize sometimes how impactful my role is. Sometimes I used to look at myself as I'm at the bottom. I'm just a recruiter. I'm the face of the college. But several opportunities this year has brought me to a bigger stage. And like being on the news for Super Saturday, introducing our Vice Chancellor / Provost, Dr. Barlow, for important presentation at the college has shown me like just because you think that you're at the bottom of the totem pole, you gotta think big of yourself. You gotta think highly of yourself because your name is, getting around. And sometimes that thoughts or those thoughts may come from just not already being in higher education or just having feelings of being behind. So again, you're talking to someone that, used to work at a hospital or in a different field. So I'm still fairly new to higher education. However, I've only been here, I'm going into my 3rd year. So I love being here at BRCC specifically. And it's showing me that, you have to create the space sometimes, you can be unfamiliar with something, but if you create the space, you can surely thrive in this space. And truly, I will say it's a blessing to be here. I love my supervisors. I love enrollment services. And I mean, I love pretty much the whole BRCC. I try to meet everybody, including faculty, that I have not met before. I just try to familiarize, myself, even if it's a professor that, I may have seen their name helping a student register for a class. Like, hey, I finally get to put a face with a name. It's a small interaction like that is taking me further than the titles that's behind or the credentials that I have behind my name. And that's what I'm saying. If you're struggling right now, I want you to take away from this conversation that it's still okay. You're right where you need to be. You're not behind, and I'm telling that to myself as well. So
That's true. And then second question we got for you is,
yeah, go ahead.
if you one message for students listening who maybe be struggling and maybe just want something to take away from the podcast.
All right, if you're listening, what I really want you to take the most heartfelt message I can just share with you is don't give up on your purpose. A purpose is something like an assignment, right? So if you think about a class assignment, it's assigned to you. You have to do it. You have to turn it in. If you feel that you're destined or your purpose is to go into the medical field, make sure you match that same energy by showing yourself like, hey, I'm going to focus. I'm going to be more disciplined. I wasn't as disciplined as I was in the other class, but I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined this time around because I really want to go after it. All right. So that's the message that I want to leave y'all with, is to just, don't give up on your purpose. If you have a purpose, your why. Remember your why. As cliche as it sounds, you really do have to sometimes reshift your focus. Again, get away from, the negativity. Got to quiet out the noise. You got to come handle your business. Come take care of your business. Thank y'all for having me.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on, Janai, and this was very wonderful. I learned more stuff about you in the last 45, 50 minutes, the last 3.5 years of me and you being on here.
I appreciate it. If y'all see Janelle coming, Way better.
Not everybody all at once, though. Y'all gonna scare me.
She guaranteed got a crowd behind her.
But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in on this particular episode of In Session Season 2, Episode 1 with Janai Joseph, and we will see you in the next episode.
Your college, your way.